Hey, welcome to Tools on Tech. So I wanted to talk about picking the right tool for you. And I'm talking about the holy trinity of tools here. So I'm talking calendar, knowing with who you have an appointment when, task list, what do you want to get done, and notes, a place to store all your thoughts and being able to retrieve them when you need them. And the first question you should ask yourself, do you need a tool at all? Because a tool, as the name implies, is just a tool. It adds on to the system you have. Now, if you don't have a good system in place, then a tool probably won't solve your problem. It might give you some guidelines, but that's about it. And the second question you want to ask yourself is, what does it solve? Because that's what a tool does. A calendar solves my problem that I don't double book with people and that I get a reminder when an appointment is due so I'm not late. That's the solve that it does. And that's why I need a tool, because yes, I can just write down on a piece of paper when I need to be somewhere, but that doesn't give me a reminder unless I would constantly be looking at that paper. But most of my work related stuff, that's just not enough. And then we get to the main question. How do you pick or even find a tool? As for finding, that's usually following a couple of YouTubers. Good friend of mine, Dimitri, runs a channel where he talks about different applications, and that at least brings something to the forefront. But then you'll need to figure out, does this tool suit me? And it's not just functionality, but it's also feel. Some people like tools with lots of buttons and a lot of flexibility. Other people want it minimalistic and just follow a set path. Once you have picked a tool to try, for me, it usually goes into the test phase. And what the test phase means is that I create a free account and that I see if I can do the core functionality, the deal breakers, the things I can't live without. So for example, if I test any type of task manager, the things that I need is quick add. I want to be able to quickly add things to my phone because I use my task list manager as a capture tool. I need reminders so that if I promise to do something on a certain day, it needs to pop up then and not sooner. And finally, it needs repeating tasks. And that means that I can put things in that are going over and over again. It's things like watering my plants. No repeating task would mean these plants would die. So those are, for example, in task list, my core questions. The first things I'll try when I'm in one of these applications. And if any of those fail, I can cancel my account right there because it's not the tool for me. You can set that up for all the different tool types that you have. And that list that you go through is your list. What is your most important thing? What problem should the tool solve for you? Now, add a bit to that and go like on a calendar, for example, I need to know with whom I have the appointment and preferably automatically send them an email so that we don't have any problems syncing up the time that we picked, where it is, and then preferably link that to something like Google Maps so it's easier to get there, and that there's a reminder on it so that I know a front of time, like, hey, I got an hour, I need to go now. And the final thing it really needs is time zones, because nobody should deal with time zones in this day and age. If I add someone, I want to be able to add them, say which time zone they're in, and be guaranteed that they will get an email and their calendar will match up with mine, no matter if they're either in the Netherlands or in Japan or the US. Then we get to notes, and for me, notes needs to be quick. You need to be able to link things together, and there should be a good search function in it, because notes is not so much about what you put in, but mostly about what you get out once you need it. And in that regards, tools are a bit like a relationship. None of them are perfect. You have to figure out what you can and can't live with. And then once you decided that you can make it work, you really have to commit to it. You can't switch tools every month. That's not where happiness lies. You have to really go in for it for the long haul, and that means in the case of tools at least a couple of years. For example, Todoist I've been using for over a decade. You have to come with an amazing task list app to get me from Todoist, even though Todoist isn't the best app anymore. I mean, left and right, people came with new ideas. Microsoft To Do currently in a project, and I love the day view, for example, but it's not enough to pull me from a 10-year relationship that I have with Todoist, where thinking of a checkbox for a task gives me an instant 10-year build-up dopamine hit that I just need to chase every day. So what is the best tool? And to come with like the worst answer possible, and that's it depends. It depends on you, it depends on your needs. That's what I already discussed. You need to make your own list, but I can talk about what tools are there for me and what check marks they made so that they became part of my core tool set? Well, the first one I just mentioned is Todoist, and I like it because I can filter, there's labels, it reminds me even on location, so you can like say like, hey, I want a reminder when I'm walking by the store. That helps me to get things done. I love the quick add feature. As for calendars, Google Calendars, my man, is like, it's been there for ages. I love the fact that it checks my Google address book, so I can just type a name of a friend. It fills it in, it sends them an email, they can confirm that they're coming over, it checks the time zones for me, I can easily check multiple calendars, add things together. It's a staple workhorse and also been around for a long time in my toolbox. And then finally for notes, now you should know this, it's Notion. Notion is definitely the place where I put like the long-term storage or the organized notes in my life. Next to Notion, Logseek and Obsidian became like this beacon of random. It keeps the chaos out of my Notion. So Notion I like because of the view, easy access, the able that I can format things and that I can build structures that I can work around. And then Obsidian I like because I can let the chaos. I just do a daily journal, I link all my thoughts together and I'll be able to find things back. But those two things in tandem make my world. I know people have managed to get like just Obsidian working or just Notion working, but I need both in my life. That's it for this one. Remember, you're awesome, keep it up, and see you in the next one.